Steph and Magic are two of the greatest point guards of all time.
Magic Johnson could dominate a game at that position without putting the ball in the basket.
Steph Curry has had just as significant of an impact as Magic.
However, Magic played in the 80s and Steph the 2010s, so I put them in the same NBA draft. And of course, the first of 4 rings wins it all. Steph would start out on hometown Hornets, and Magic, he'd head to the west and start for the Rockets. Off the rip, he'd bench Kevin Porter, and Steph, he'd bench Rozier. But this Hornets team was terrible. Steph would average 20 and 6 and play entertaining ball with LaMelo, but they'd still finish with a 28 and 54 record. However, in Houston, it was a different story. Magic would replicate his 1980 rookie season, averaging 18 and 9, winning Rookie of the Year and getting All-NBA. And overall, the Rockets were a good team with a 45 and 37 record, and they'd actually make the playoffs. However, against Luka and Kyrie, it was a long day, and a big ask for a team of kids in their first playoff series. The erratic and irrational Rockets team would expectedly crumble, and whilst Magic would perform, the rest wouldn't, as they got bounced in 5. In year 2, Steph would take an offensive leap, averaging 25, but the team remained stagnant, finishing 33 and 49. However, the attention quickly shifted to Magic and his Rockets. Dubbed the Showtime Rockets, they would only improve from last year as they finished as the 3 seed. And while Steph was in the Bahamas, Magic was set for a deep playoff run. However, after a Game 1 loss in Houston, things looked shaky, but that would just be an anomaly, winning 4 of the next 5 games. In the next round against another young OKC team, likewise with minimal playoff experience, the Rockets had a chance to advance. Yet for no apparent reason, the team would struggle. In particular, Jalen Green would have a bad shooting series, and it was clear for this team to succeed long term, Magic needed the keys to the team. It was clear, despite being only 1 seed behind, the Rockets weren't on OKC's level, as they lost in 6. However, in the offseason, Terry Rozier would walk, and it freed up cap to get Evan Mobley.
Who does Evan remind you of?
You know, KG is somebody that I see at that size and body type.
His diverse skill set would instantly make the Hornets contenders. And Steph, for the first time in his career, made the playoffs, averaging 26 and 6. As for Magic, he was now higher overall than Jalen Green, and would finally take the keys to the team, winning MVP number 1. That stat line is crazy. As both the 1 and 2 seeds, a match in the finals looked inevitable. Despite only being 23, Steph had experienced leading a team on the biggest stage with Davidson.
17-point comeback behind Stephen Curry. The star of the stage delivers again.
And in a weak Eastern Conference, Steph and the Hornets would dismantle a Giannis-less Bucks in 4. However, the Nets had acquired Tatum and Anthony Edwards. But the Hornets, they had their own firepower. Now at 3-2, the Hornets had a chance to close it out on the road, but with LaMelo fouled out, the pressure came to Steph. Here we go, down 1, 35 seconds left, down to Mobley, good pass, easy dunk. Dinwiddie to Anthony Edwards, kinda open, oh my god, of course he makes it. 2-point game, Steph with the ball in his hands to make a play. How did that go through Tatum's hands? And after a Tatum game-winning miss, the Nets would never gain control as the Hornets would blow them out in OT and win the series. This would be the hardest team they'd face, and they'd make their first NBA Finals. As for the Rockets, they wound up in the conference finals, except they had one problem awaiting them. A big problem. Victor Wembanyama. And with an old but still effective Dame, the Rockets would get played off the court. However, the Hornets had Defensive Player of the Year, Evan Mobley. And after keeping Wemby to 30 combined points in games 1 and 2, it was clear he made the difference. And whilst Dame, in his first and most likely last NBA Finals, would take game 3 at home, the Hornets were too strong. As Steph responded with 33 and 35 in back-to-back games to win the series and the NBA championship. Steph gets ring 1. In only year 3, that is insane. In the offseason, Magic would get back to work, and it would pay off, becoming a 2-time MVP, as he led the Rockets to another conference finals appearance. And the Hornets, well, they weren't slowing down, going 7 games clear at the top of the East, and like Magic, Steph would lead his team to the conference finals. But as the superior team in the East, they'd sweep the Nets team from last year with ease, repeating back to the NBA Finals. It was now on Magic to deliver, but in his way with Donovan Mitchell, Never Swing the Rock Porter, and Jabari Smith, who was seeking revenge. but a 31-15 Game 1 performance made it evident no one was stopping the best player on the floor as they won in 5. 65% from the field is insane. Now the two best players at their positions faced each other for ultimate glory. The Rockets had home court due to the easy West, and they make it count winning back-to-back games, but the defending champs would respond with 2 of their own. And in the decisive Game 5, well, Melo and Steph would combine for 70, as Magic was played off the floor. Now with all the momentum, the Rockets would get blown out in Game 6. Magic could take little to blame for the loss, averaging 24-9 in the finals. But at the end of the day, his team lost, and Steph had taken an early 2-0 lead in the championship race.
He was the best player on either team, and because of that, his team won the championship. This is what I've been waiting for in his career.
However, in year 5, the East would take a turn. As Luka joined the Bulls and Giannis the Heat, the Hornets were no longer the clear best team in the East, where they got bounced by the Doncic-led Bulls, where Steph got outplayed for the first time in a series, averaging 23 points. Now Magic had his opportunity and he wouldn't back away, beating the likes of Jokic and Shea while averaging 24, 6 and 9 en route to his second NBA Finals. And of course it was Luka that was in the NBA Finals. Whilst Luka was good, Magic was better, and Magic would outplay him for 3 of the 4 games to take a 3-1 lead. And in Game 5, well, Magic would get it done. There we go, that's the final buzzer. Magic finally gets that first ring. But he's still down 1 to Steph. And in year 6, that championship tally wasn't going to change. With NBA competition at an all-time high, both the Rockets and the Hornets would be eliminated. It was the first time in 6 years without either team in the playoffs. However, now in year 7, after getting back in the gym, both would enter the peaks of their career, now 99 overalls. And so in their peaks, they would get their teams back on track.
Don't want to see us next year.
Steph wins his first MVP, averaging 34 and 8, and Magic 24 and 12. Looking to make an impression, both would come out hot, breezing through their first 2 series. Charlotte were coming off back-to-back sweeps, but things were going to get harder. Steph was facing All-NBA point guard in Scoot. Scoot was an understudy of Steph, and had been averaging 30 and 7. However, his cocky and confident attitude wanted to see him overshadow Steph. And he'd come out hot, winning games 1 and 2, declaring a personal battle between him and Steph. However, the calm and collected Steph would compose it to win games 3 and 4, which quickly turned into games 5 and 6 as he won the series. As for Magic, Wemby awaited. However, without Dame, Wemby was a one-man show and the well-rounded Rockets would take it in 6. We now got Steph v Magic again in the NBA Finals.
Because it's the final that we've all been waiting for, I'm going to put my wishful thinking cap on and tell you it's a Game 7 again.
Stephen A's wishful thinking looked correct as the two went back and forth, bordering on dirty at times. But the relentless nature of the series would keep it close, as after a team lost, they'd bounce back straight away. So a Game 7 was inevitable. For Steph Curry, it was a chance to run away with 3 rings, and Magic to tie it up with 2. Here we go, Game 7, 1 minute left. Magic with LaMelo guarding him, sizing him up. What's he gonna do? Step back, that jumper's so ugly and he somehow makes it. Steph, here to respond, puts it up over Magic, and he shimmies, wow. Oh my god, Magic nearly lost it. Here we go, he needs a bucket, down 1, layup, and he puts it up and makes it. Steph. Running pick and roll with Wiseman, down to that's an easy bucket. Magic has one last chance. Here we go. Again, LaMelo on him. Pick and roll. I don't even know who's rolling. He gave it to him. He gave it up and he missed. Oh my god. How did he miss? And Steph's shushing the crowd after winning the finals. In year 8, it was do or die for Magic. Having won 4 rings at this point IRL, he was a disappointment, and down 3-1 in the championship tally, a massive comeback was needed, and it was clear he was on a mission, averaging 24 and 11 to lead his team to the 1 seed. But Steph wasn't letting off, winning his second MVP to now match Magic. But working in Magic's favour was the West, the best team being, how was his team second best? Trae Young and a bunch of salesmen. And with Magic on Trae, he would give him hell, and on the other side of the ball, you know how that goes, as Magic returned to the NBA Finals. But we would have to wait for his opponent, as the Charlotte v Pistons series was going the distance. Unlike Magic, Steph had his due competition up against Cade, Jabari Smith, Anthony Simons, and Franz Wagner. And going back home, tied at 2-2, the Hornets looked to take the lead. However, shockingly, the Pistons would blow them out. How is this possible with Steph, LaMelo, and Mobley on your team? The Hornets weren't recovering from that loss. And while Steph was probably playing golf somewhere, Magic was fighting for his second ring. Magic, the Defensive Player of the Year, matched up perfectly against the tall and nimble Cunningham. And after a Game 1 victory, Magic's got Cade in his back pocket. It was clear who the better team was, and if I'm being honest, Magic was never losing this matchup, winning games 2, 3, and 4 to sweep the Pistons and win ring 2. In year 9, discussions began to pick up who was better, Steph or Magic. Expectedly, both teams would run it back, and for the Rockets, their only challenge of repeating back to the NBA Finals was the same Spurs team as last year. And despite adding Dyson Daniels, well, they still weren't good enough, as Magic took care of business. As for the Hornets, well, they had to compete against the Duke reunion with Brandon Ingram, Trey Jones, Zion, and RJ. And despite winning a couple games with their connection, with Trey Jones on Steph, they were bound to lose, as Steph had one of the all-time great series, averaging 35 and 8. Someone tell me how this stat line's fair at all. Now, we had Magic v Steph for a third time. However, Steph's form from the previous series would carry over, winning games 1 and 2. However, after taking game 3, a huge game 4 awaited for Magic. Lose and you go down 3-1, going back to Charlotte. Win and the series is back even. Here we go. The Rockets down 4 with a minute 20. We're going to need some quick buckets, Magic. That's an easy blow by to the rim over LaMelo. Yep. Too easy. LaMelo with Jalen Green. What am I watching? What in the 2K am I watching? What is this? Put it up, LaMelo. What's he doing? That's not going in. Left hand. Oh my god. Here we go. Magic, he's got the Steph mismatch. Turn around. Sorry, that jumper is so ugly. Here we go. Steph. Magic. You know Magic's guarding him. Magic wants to smoke. Pick and roll. Down to what? Oh man, this guy Steph loves a pick and roll. This is probably your last chance for Magic. LaMelo guarding him. Not a great defender. Spins. Turn around. Over LaMelo and he missed. LaMelo's got it. 15 seconds left and gets fouled. It was slipping away for Magic. And yup. That's game over. And as expected, Steph would get it done at home to win his 4th NBA championship. If we're being honest, he has clapped Magic this entire simulation. Steph takes this one. Steph's the go point guard, I said it. As always, if you guys liked the video, a subscribe would mean so much. And a like, and anything. Thank you guys, I appreciate it.